beautiful creatures of the world, and welcome back to Coffee with Kerri-Lynn. It's a beautiful day in the far north of Maine, up along the Canadian border, in the crown of Maine, and I hope it's a beautiful day wherever you are as well. Thank you so much for watching my videos. If you are watching me on the video platforms, I thank you for being here. Think about subscribing, liking the video, disliking the video, add a comment. It all helps with the algorithm, ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world. Share the videos with a friend. I would like to thank everybody joining me on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and YouTube Music. If you are joining me over there, hit the follow button. It'll throw me in your playlist, and if you don't want to listen to the show today, just don't do it. Just skip right over me. Give me a 5-star rating over there. It costs you guys nothing to do that, but it does move me up in the algorithms. Ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world, I am also on the Green Network, which I can't say the name over here because it plunges the video ratings. So I'm over there. Whoop, over there. Got it straight this time. I am Coffee with Kerri-Lynn over there, no hyphen. That's Coffee with Kerrilynnn over on the Green Free Thought Free Speech platform that I am monetized on. Not monetized over here. Girls got to pay her bills. I'm also on Facebook and I am on Insta. Yes, I am. I'm Coffee with Kerri-Lynn over on both of those platforms. And I am on X. That's Coffee with Kerri. So you can follow me over there as well. We're getting the rounds done. Have to do all the advertising, don't I? Ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world, thank you so much for everybody who is a subscriber to my channel. You guys are the real MVPs. Without you, the channel doesn't exist, and I'm just screaming into the void. And most of the time, I'm screaming into the void anyways. It's a different show every single day. Now, people have been emailing me, and people have been like, I don't understand your show. One minute you're talking about Homestead, and the next minute you're talking about paranormal crap. What's the deal? This is a variety show, ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world. Whatever topic hits my fancy for the day, that's what we're going to talk about. And sometimes there's a rhyme and a reason, and sometimes it's just chaotic. Life is messy, ladies and gentlemen. Clean it up. So if you don't like today's topic, which we're going to be gathering up our materials to do some container gardening, starting your seedlings, then you don't have to watch today's video. If you don't want to listen to the intros on the video, just scroll somewhere into the 1.5 to 2 minutes on every video, and then you'll get the deep dive content, as I like to call it. So today we are going to talk about container gardening. Gardening is a great thing. It's a wonderful thing. We have container gardened with our children their entire lives, and now we get to do it with our grandbabies. Because kids need to stick their dang hands in the dirt, ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world. Kids need to be messy. Kids need to walk in the yard without shoes on their feet, just like their grandmother does. And they need to live as close to nature as possible. They need to attempt to grow their own food. They need to pick the fruits of their labor, and then they need to sample it. And that is how you introduce children to the natural world, to the cycle of life. Because, quite frankly, I don't want grandchildren that go to the grocery store and think that eggs live in the back, that the gallon of milk just happens like magic. It's in the back. I don't want them to be disconnected from their food. I don't want them to not understand farm to table. So here on the homestead, where we grow quite a bit of our own stuff and we can it, the grandchildren are learning, and they are learning to garden. And the easiest way for children to learn to garden is to do little mini container gardens in your household. Now, we start our container gardens. We're not starting yet. I'm just kind of going through what you guys are going to need to start and grow with us on this channel. So container gardens are fabulous. They teach children a lot. They get their hands in the soil. You know, some of you don't have soil, and you will have to use commercial soil. We have soil. We make soil here on the homestead. We'll be showing you those videos too. But, you know, they got to stick their hands in the dirt and get all dirty and messy and rub their hands, wash their hands with dirt, and get all those microbiomes on their hands and start feeling good. Because when you put your hands in the dirt, ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world, it does something to elevate your mood. There's science behind it. But if you want to believe it's just a magical thing like my grandchildren believe it, then you are entitled to believe that sticking your hands in the dirt and elevating your mood, getting in a better mood, is magic. And that's how we teach our grandchildren at first, because like I said, they're little kids. They're 5, they're 4, and they are 1.5 years old. So we have to start these things very, very slowly with a lot of magic and mystique to it, because that's what kids understand. Kids understand pretend. Kids understand imagination. And when you want your kids to learn something very quickly, if you present it to them in not a degrading way, but in an outside of the box way, then those are lessons that they're going to carry through their entire lives, because they'll remember it because it was fun. And I'm a fun grandma. That's just how it goes. First thing you guys are going to need, if you don't have your own soil, if you don't build your own soil, and you live in the city and you don't have a garden in your backyard and you can't shovel any of it up, maybe it's frozen to the earth like it is here in the far north of Maine, where the cold still hurts our face and we have to take the vitamin D because this is the kind of sunshine we get. Then you have to go to the store and you have to buy yourself some soil. Now, you can get whatever you want, whatever suits your budget. This is a budget-friendly thing. We here grow completely organic. We make our own fertilizer. We don't do chemicals on our soil. We don't screw up our land like that. It's just a thing. And let me tell you, when you're doing all organics, ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world, there is a huge, huge failure rate. So don't think that if things happen in the world and you can't get chemicals to aid your garden to grow, that you're going to grow this beautiful, big, lush garden and you're going to survive, because chances are you're not. There is a huge, huge failure rate with organic gardening, and it takes years and years and years to build your soil up and make sure you have all the nutrients in your soil in a natural fashion. So that's the first thing. You got to decide if you're going to organic grow. So organic soil at the store obviously is going to be more expensive if you have to get your soil from the store. Any kind of veggie soil is fine. I don't use starter soil. Even when before we went all organic, I never really used starter soil. I always used vegetable soil, and it's just how it works. And it worked, and we were fine. And the world didn't fall apart. The sky's still blue, and it's still above the head. And that's how it is. That's what I used. If you want to use starter soil, go ahead. Get the seedling soil. I just always skipped that step. My grandmother never used it. I never used it, and we were fine. We have big, lush gardens here on the homestead. Like I said, we can a lot of our gardens. So, and there's 7 people that we can food for. So that gives you some kind of a ratio aspect, although we've been gardening for all of our lives, basically, because we gardened with grandparents. Ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world. Now, if you want to do container gardens, you can get clear milk jugs. This is a great way to start with the kids. Get clear milk jugs. You're going to cut them in half, and you're going to put your soil in, and then you are going to make like a terrarium, a mini greenhouse. Then you're going to tape that milk jug together and take the little cappy thing and loosen it up, maybe poke some holes in it so that it can aerate in there, and your seedlings will start growing under a greenhouse effect. Here on the homestead, we use the 5-gallon water bottles, and we cut these suckers in half, and we put the soil in, and then we're going to put our seeds in. Then we're going to tape this, and we are going to water it through the top, just because life is easier that way. When it needs water, we're going to water it through the top. I use packing tape. A lot of people use duct tape. I use packing tape because, well, we have businesses that we ship things with, and it's available. I don't go out of my way, as you could tell, ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world. So you're going to need some kind of a container that you can turn into a greenhouse effect terrarium type situation. So it's either a clear milk jug, or you can use the water jugs. You can use the smaller water jugs. If you just want the kids to, if you have very small kids, we use the water bottles, the clear water bottles, and we give each kid a couple water bottles, and they can grow their own little plants in the water bottles, and we tape them back together. It's all the same concept. Get yourself some duct tape, get yourself, or some packing tape, get yourself some soil of your preference. And in the coming weeks, we are going to start putting these mini greenhouses together and growing our first set of plants. We here on the homestead like growing in sets. There's a fancy name for it. I can't never remember it. But this is what we do. We are going to plant our starters are generally tomatoes and pumpkins. So what we're going to do is we're going to plant a set of tomatoes, set of tomato plants, and then a few weeks later, we're going to plant another set of tomato plants, and then a few weeks after that, we're going to plant another set of tomato plants, so that we'll have some that give us fruit very, very early. And yes, tomatoes are a fruit, ladies and gentlemen. They are not a vegetable. And they will cycle out. And so as one set of fruits start decreasing, the next set will start giving us quite a bit of fruit. And that's how we do it here on the homestead. I also do my pumpkins. I start them indoors. Now, everything else that we do it outdoors because it's just easier to put it in the soil. But some people who have very little land, or you live in the city, or you're strictly doing container gardens or patio gardens, you may want to do all of your stuff started indoors and then move it out, especially if it's going to stay in containers, and move it on out to your deck or your patio, wherever you have the space for it, and grow in there. So you're going to want to do your zucchinis, you're going to want to do your squashes, you're going to want to do your garlics, your onions, anything that your family likes to eat is what you're going to do in your containers. And anything and everything can be grown in containers. Now this year we're going to do something a little special that we've never really done before. We did it once and it kind of worked. But we're practicing here on increasing the volume of food that we grow on the homestead. And what we're going to be doing is vertical grows. We tried it once before and it was okay. But we're going to give it a real go this year. And we will show you the vertical grows. Because what we're trying to do is take the small amount of land that we have here on the homestead, and we want maximum amount of garden yield. So we do in our garden, we have things that can't be moved around. We have a couple blueberry bushes. We have a raspberry patch. We have an elderberry patch. So these are things that are permanent to our homestead. They're permanent to our garden. So we can't really move those things around, and therefore it does suck up a lot of gardening space for us, for the amount of land that we have to garden in. We also have areas in our yard that we do potatoes in and things like that. We cycle it out every 3 years. We rotate the crops around in mini raised beds. So that's something else that we do, but we really, really want to try our hand at vertical grows to increase the yield on our produce. Because you never know when more people need to come home. You never know. We got 3 kids, and things happen in life, and life is hard out there. So we're encouraging everybody to grow a victory garden. If you have children, these are the perfect episodes to watch about gardening. Like I said, it's super easy to container grow with kids. Give them a packet of flower seeds. They will love it. It's an absolute joy to watch the sparkle in the children's eyes as they do a thing with their hands that is absolutely amazing. Make their gardening experience magical. And ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world, I promise you they will forever want to put their hands in the dirt and run barefoot through the yard, no matter what their age. Ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world, gather up your supplies, because soon, within the next week or so, we will begin our container gardening journey on the homestead, and we want everybody to join us. If you have any suggestions for vertical grow, if you do vertical grow in your own yard, on your own homestead, and you have any tips or tricks for us, please put it down in the comment section below. We'd love to learn more about vertical growing here on the homestead. Ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world, carpe diem, because no one promised you a tomorrow.